Hello guys, welcome to another exciting day. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to YJ Digital World. I remain your regular host, Joseph. So on today's video tutorial, precisely I'll be guiding you through on how to achieve a similar flyer design like the one I have on my screen. So in doing this, I'll be making use of Photoshop 2023. Please if you're new to the channel, do well to subscribe, turn on the post notification to get notification whenever I upload new content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. And please don't forget to give this video a like. Okay, please do well to give this video a like. Do well to give this video a like. So in doing this, we have to create a Canva workspace for way to carry out this project. So I'll come over here and click on the new file button here. So on the new file here, you can give the project a name. Okay, this can be the project name, and here is the unit of measurement. You are working with pixels, and here are the parameters precisely you're using. The color, that is the resolution, remains on 300. Color mode remains on RGB. So the main essence of this project is we're creating the design which we'll have to upload on a social media platform like Instagram and the rest of them. So after that set, I'll click on create. So here we have Canva workspace on which this design is going to be carried out on. Okay, over here I have the exercise files. Here are the exercise files I'll be using for this project. So let me drag them into my Photoshop workspace. So I'll drag them in, check to drop each and every one of them. Okay, so first thing first, I'll drag this background image down and turn off every other layer off. Okay, so after doing that, I have to transform this, Ctrl T on the keyboard, hold Alt to scale out from the middle, and you check. Okay, so over here on my notepad, I have a preset of colors that I'll be using for this project. So I have to create a custom background color. So I'll come over here and slide over to solid fill, and I'll just paste in my color. There's the hex code for the color precisely. I'll click on the OK. So after doing that, I'll come over here where I have this image, and I have to change the blending to, let me say, linear dodge. I think this is okay. Then I need to create drama or create contrast on my background by fading away most of the light effect here, so that whenever I place my information, it will be more visible on the background. So all I have to do is to come to my filter here, blur, Gaussian blur, and I have to blur out some of the pixels. You understand? This is how it looks before. So I'll try to blur out some of the pixels. I think this is okay like this, and after that I'll click on OK. So after doing this, I also still need to make some little adjustments to this. Come to my adjustment panel, to my hues and saturation. I need to adjust the saturation of the color a little bit. I think it's okay like this, before and after. Okay, then I'll come over here, add a little bit of contrast using my curve, add a little bit of highlight to the project, and a little bit of shadow to the project. Okay, trying to create the contrast on my highlight and on my shadows, creating the focus points on this project. Okay, before and after. So after doing that, I also need to still work on the background by adding the new layer over here. Pick my brush, right click, make sure you are working on the soft round brush. Okay, you can control your flows and opacity, and set my flows at this. Okay, hold Alt on my keyboard, sample a color for my background over here. Scale up the size of my brush using the open and close bracket key beside the P button, and brush this way. I'm trying to create space for text on my background. That's what I'm trying to do, so that when I place an information along this region, the information can be seen and be visible. Okay, So I think this is okay. I can still control the flows. Okay, that's for that. And come over here as well again, add another new layer. Hold Alt, sample a color along this region. I need to still create contrast along this region. Okay, always remember to control your flows. You can control your flows to about, let me say, 10, 12. I don't know, just play around. Okay, so come over here, trying to create contrast between my background and the information I'll be placing on my project precisely. Okay, I think this is okay this way, and it's nice. So I'll select the layer, hold shift, select the last layer of my background, hit Ctrl G. Ctrl G on the keyboard enables you to group them. So I can call this BG. By doing this, it will enable me to make my layer panel look more neat and organized. Okay, so I'll come over here and drag this beneath, enable it. Okay, and in order for you to make any form of adjustment or any form of resizing to your model image, always convert them to a smart object. By doing so, it enables you to maintain their image resolution whenever you scale up or scale down the actual size of the image. So I can come over here, hit Ctrl T now, scale it down, okay, and take it down this way. Okay, I can say okay, it's okay like this, and I will check. Okay, after doing that, hit Ctrl G to make a duplicate. Now in this phase of the design, I'm trying to create more depth on the model image. Okay, so I'll slide my mouse between the two layers, hold Alt, and you notice my mouse pointer changes to this. I'll just left click, and you see that I've created a clipping marks on the other layer beneath it. So all I have to do now is to come over here to filter all the way to others, then high pass. Over here, I want to work on the skin tones precisely. I need the effect to be on the skin tone, so I'll scale down. I want to see more of the skin tones, not the skin color precisely. So I'll click on OK, come over here, change the blending to hard light precisely. I'll check. So after doing that, come over here to the adjustment panel, enable the hues and saturation precisely, create a clipping mask, slide over here and add a little feel of saturation to the project. I think this is nice like this. So after doing that, come over here to my curves. Okay, create a clipping mask. I need the effect to be only on the model layer, so I'm come over here, add a little highlight over here and add a little shadow over here this way. Okay, you can see the image is now coming to life. And slide over here again, come to your curves, create a clipping mask as well, take down the highlight. So along this region, I just need to create a little feel of contrast on this project. So one of the ways you can do this is by playing with your adjustment layers, okay, and adding highlights where needed and shadows where necessary. Okay, so after creating this curve, you notice that it's not actually looking nice on the project. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to add highlights to these shadow regions, okay, to make them pop properly. So after doing that, all I have to do is to double click on the layer, so the layer styles comes up. So over here we have this underlining layer, so I'll drag the slider this way, so hold Alt to break the slider, so I can take this to this way, okay, and I can take this way. Let me see. Okay, this is looking nice. Okay, so this is before and this is after, before and after. So the main essence of that, if you noticed, when I double click, the layer style comes up. Here is the highlight and here is the shadow. So I moved the effect from the highlight to the shadow region. Then by breaking the slider, I'm trying to make a smooth transition between the layers, that is the underlying layers on the highlight, to the shadow regions. Okay, so I'll click on OK for that. So after doing that, all I have to do again is to still come here over here and add another curve. Okay, I noticed there is too much shadow on the model image on this region, so I need to work on the shadows. How can I adjust this? Is by adding more highlights to this. But you notice that the highlight is affecting the whole design project, so all I have to do is to always check on the clip marks. I need the effect to be only on the model image. So after doing that, so I'll come over here, hit Ctrl I. Ctrl I on my keyboard enables me to invert the marks. Okay, so come over here, pick my brush. Okay, start picking my brush, right click and make sure you're on the soft round brush. Scale down and scale up the flows, depends on how you need the effect to be on the design project. Okay, so after doing that, you can scale down the size of your brush using the open and close bracket key beside your P button on your keyboard. So make sure that your foreground color is set on white. White enables you to unravel what is hidden here on your black marks layer. So I will come over here and brush this way. Okay, softly, gently. Okay, and see what happens. I'll come over here, brush out, take out some of the shadows. Okay, so you can see before and after, trying to create a little feel in terms of the shadow. I noticed that the shadow was very harsh and too strong, so I needed to soften it a little. Okay, I think this is nice this way. Okay, so after doing that, we have to move to the next phase. So before proceeding to the next phase, I need to group these layers together. So I'll click on this first layer, hold shift, click on this last layer, hit Ctrl G. So I can call this model. Okay, I think this is actually looking nice. So in the next phase of the design, it has to do with taking out the background. Okay, taking out some of the parts of this image so that I can create a space for my text along this region. So all I have to do is to add the marks. After adding the marks, we'll come over here, select the gradient. Okay, come over here, switch this to black precisely, switch your foreground color to black. Okay, all you have to do is now to left click and drag this way. So you notice what happened, it blurs out some of the pixels of this image. Okay, so I'll come over here and blur out this way, and you see what happens to the image. So after doing that, come over here, select the model group layer, adjust the size, take it up a little. Okay, check. You can still come back here, pick your brush, come back to the max layer. Okay, scale up the brush and still take this out. You can still take it out this way. So the next phase has to do with placing of our text to the project. So I'll come over here to my guides to turn on my guides precisely. Okay, so normally here the parameters I do use depends on the project I'm working on. Okay, here are the parameters I'm using for this. Click on the OK. So after turning on the guides, come to my notepad over here. I'll copy in the text and start placing them. Okay, pick my text tool over here and left click and paste in this text. So for this, I'll be changing this to Poppins bold precisely, that is the style. So I can change this to white and change the color to white precisely. Over here, I'll change only this text called present to regular. So I'll left click, come over here, check. Okay, Ctrl T to transform, scale it down, check. Ctrl A to make a quick selection of the whole project. Pick your move tool and align this horizontally to the middle. Deselect, Ctrl D to deselect precisely. Okay, so I'll come over here and increase my trackings, that is space between text on the horizontal axis. So after doing that, the next phase has to do with placing of our theme of the event. So I'll come to the notepad, copy the text, pick the text to left click and paste in the text. Check, come to your character panel here, return your tracking to 0. In case you don't have your character panel here, you can enable it on your Windows. Okay, you can enable it through your Windows here. Okay, so change the font precisely to Hertha green regular precisely. So after doing that, Ctrl T to transform and scale up the size. Okay, after scaling up the size, Ctrl A to make a quick selection. Quick your move to align this horizontally precisely. Ctrl D deselect and take this layer beneath the model layer, please. So after doing this, all you have to do next is to change the fill color for this text. Okay, let me adjust the position a little. Change the fill color for this text. How do I do this? And come over here to my character panel. Okay, then slide over to my text panel here. Okay, so over here I will have to copy out the hex code I'll be using for this particular set of text. Okay, so the first set of text I'll be copying this. Copy out this, come over here and change the fill, paste in the color here. Okay, after doing that, I'll come over here and I'll change the blending precisely to soft light. Okay, make a duplicate of the same layer, change the blending mode of this duplicated layer to, let me see, okay, color dodge works. Then over here, come back and copy the color I'll be using for this. So I'll change this color to this. Okay, you can now see the project is now coming to life. Okay, that's for that. So over here again, I have to place in other set of text along this region. So all I have to do is to come here and place the name of the event center where the event will be taking place. Okay, pick the text tool, left click, paste in this text, check. Okay, then come over here, change the font to Poppins, back to Poppins bold precisely. Okay, change the color. So for this we also have to change the color. Okay, this is the color I'm using over here. Copy it and paste it right here. Okay, so after pasting it right here, all I have to do is to, okay, after changing it, all I have to do is to change the blending mode as well. So okay, I think this is okay. So I also make a duplicate of this time around. So I also change the blending mode to, let me see, linear. So I also change the blending mode to linear dodge. Okay, after changing this to linear dodge, come to my notepad and copy out the hex code. So over here, I'll just paste in the color code, then I'll click on OK. I'll select the two layer, Ctrl T to transform them and make sure they are aligned. Okay, after doing this, all I have to do is to come to this layer here, make a double click on this. Okay, after making a double click on this, come to your bevels and emboss. So on your bevels and emboss, you make a little adjustment to the depth. Let me say 33. Okay, and you can also change your gloss contour to this as well to work nice for this precisely. So you see the effect on the project. Okay, so the softener, I'll soften it to about 4. And what else? Leave. Okay, let me set the screen to about 98 and I'll click on OK. So all I have to do now is to hold Alt, left click and drag this to the other layer and enable it. Okay, that is for that. So I can come over here, take this layer above. Okay, Ctrl A, pick the move tool and align this horizontally. Ctrl D to deselect. Take this down. Okay, then take this down this way. Okay, come back over here turn off this chain icon that looks like a link between the two files here. Turn it off. Select this, hit Ctrl T. Okay, hit Ctrl T. So when I scale up or scale down, it won't actually affect the whole project. It won't affect the max layer precisely. So I'll come over here, scale this down again, take this to the top and check. Come over here, adjust this as well. Okay, I think this is okay this way. So from here I'll be fast forwarding, please. I'll be fast forwarding from this side. So after placing in all the whole text in the design project, so you can come over here and still need to make a little adjustments to this, okay, and adjust the opacity a little. I think it's okay this way. Okay, so after doing this, I'll hide the guide. After hiding the guide, come to the last layer at the top. You start visible by hitting Ctrl or Shift E. Okay, right click to convert the layer to a smart object. Okay, after converting to smart object, come to filter and click on camera raw. So on the camera raw here, I'll be working on to sharpen this image precisely. I'll increase the sharpening of this image this way, and the noise effects, let me see, I think is good this way. Okay, so after working on these details, come to my color mixers. Okay, on the hues and saturations here precisely, I will have to work on the colors on the hues. Okay, so I'll add more of red to this. Okay, so here as well I'll work on the yellows as well by adding a little orange rather. Then over here I also add a little of yellow to this. Okay, the greens, I'll also turn down the greens a little, please. Okay, so on the saturations, I also make a little adjustment on the reds and the orange. So after doing this, I'll click on the OK button. So you have before, after, and after. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. If you find this tutorial helpful, do well to like the video please. If you're new to the channel, do well to subscribe, turn on the post notification to get notification whenever I upload new content. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. Okay, if you're able to achieve any project with the help of any of my tutorial, do well to tag me on all socials. Okay, on all the social platforms at YJ Digital World, precisely at YJ Digital World. Okay, so you can also join the Telegram group. Okay, the link is in the video description. So thank you guys for watching.